So I've decided to not do a vlog video either for yesterday or today because for either day I did practically nothing. That isn't to say that I did very little or that it was a mixed bag, but rather, at least in terms of productivity, again I did basically nothing. I didn't read anything, I didn't really study much. Although there is a reason for that. Just yesterday, of course, most of the day I was at work, and then eventually we got the cat over about an hour or so after I got home from work, and because of that kind of sleeping in my room, going out of the room, come back into the room, I didn't get as much sleep as I usually would, and I went to bed at probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. Again, was kind of getting up, going back to sleep because of it. So I ended up getting up at about 11 and actually getting out of bed rather, at half 11. Whether it's, at the very least, usually try to get up on the weekends at about 6, or at the very latest maybe half 7 or 7. And of course today's Friday, although somewhat luckily, somewhat unluckily, I've not had work today because they're having problems with getting stuff in. So yeah, I've had 2 lazy days, at least by my standards. But regardless, for the most part I have been enjoying them. Again, I've had the cat over. The reason that I've done basically nothing today, including of course the fact that I got up at half 11, which is 5.5 hours later than I usually do. When I do get up later, I find that almost always I'm significantly less productive. Just getting that bad start to the day really sets everything off, and then of course I'm kind of playing with the cat and taking care of the cat, so not really much. With that being said, the fact that I have done not much has really given me some time to reflect on. And again, I've said this in so many other videos, I basically say it in every video I make, but just reflect on my failings and in terms of what I'm doing productivity wise. For a while I've been wanting to delete Bolt, which is an app on my phone I kind of use for YouTube and watching videos because I can download them onto it. The only problem was I still had the files left over from when Addy was breaking up with me, and I hadn't backed them up through text into my Google Docs. So at the very least, in terms of productivity, I did that. So now that they're safe, I've deleted that app. Also left all of the Discords that I'm on, except from 3 servers, respectively Lostie's server, Addy's server and Puff's server. So all very close friends, which obviously what can I keep in touch with. And the reason that I've done this is that I've wanted to do them for quite a while, because Discord and YouTube in particular have been fairly big distractions in terms of getting in front of my other goals. Both when I do have work days, but especially on the weekend. And while I can't delete the internet app on my phone, I'm nonetheless hoping to kind of cut out anything other than kind of looking up books or doing like research into anything out also, which would mostly just be pony chatting. And of course I know people there still want to cut that out completely, but nonetheless I'm going to lessen it a lot. And in terms of doing this, in terms of there you go, 2 pence. In terms of kind of sticking to that and really building the kind of infrastructure and framework to be able to stay more consistent and productive even on the weekends. And of course, I don't expect perfection. I do expect to kind of fail and fumble and have points not taken off but rather added onto the mark system I'm going to explain in a second. I do hope that deleting these things and simply getting them out of the way will nonetheless help significantly. Well, if that says, probably should get out the mark system, which is both in these videos, or not these videos but my usual vlog videos, and the diary that I keep, and notes which I stamp for Google Docs, again just to kind of back it up and save it. I'm going to be kind of scoring myself for every single day. I have 7 different activities, and in the future they might be up slightly, but I'm happy with the 7 that I've chosen. And basically every time I do one of these things I get a mark, and every mark kind of detracts just overall from that day. So again, have a look at this. You can't really see it that much. It's actually going to stop. I'm also going to be writing down the marks physically, not writing down what they are, but another category: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And of course I'll understand what they are, and kind of marking down each physically on a bit of paper, and then adding up the total. So again, I just showed the list there, but to kind of read them off and explain them. The first one is Coke, ETC, which is basically just drinking cans of Coke, drinking caffeine, drinking any kind of fizzy drinks, eating sweets, kind of eating things or drinking things that I really shouldn't be. And every time I do one of those, obviously I add a mark. The second is spending money, just any money in general, which either A, is spent on myself and is spent unnecessarily. So obviously if my charger breaks and I need a new charger, that doesn't count. If I'm getting something for my mum or someone else, doesn't count. But rather just things for myself, like for example Coke, which would be a mark in each category, or rather several marks. As I'm going to put down every 20 pence that I spend is a mark. So since a can of Coke is 85 pence, that would be 4 marks. Kind of rounding down or upwards depending how close it is. The third is YouTube, which I just explained. For every video I watch, I get a mark. Again, I've deleted Bolt, and Bolt is really the only thing that I watch YouTube on, so as long as I don't re-download that, which I obviously don't plan to, I should be fine. But nonetheless, other than these videos, which obviously I'm going to watch, if I was to watch a video, I get a mark. The fourth thing is internet, which is again things like Ponychan, just generally browsing through the internet, again being distracted, not doing much, I get a mark. The fifth is procrastinating, and a lot of these things can kind of be rounded out to procrastinating, but this one in particular is just procrastinating in general, not doing anything much. So if I was to watch YouTube or go on Ponychan, well, those would be counted as procrastinating. That's not what I mean. I basically mean just other activities, like if something's on the TV in the background and I'm watching too much of it, like King of the Hill for example. If my brothers put that on and I watch an episode of it, that would be put down as procrastinating. If I'm just kind of sitting there doing nothing, that's procrastinating, I get a mark. The sixth thing is not studying, and of course by this I mean French, and for the most part this would just apply in work. So between breaks I'm hoping to at the very least look at my notes a little bit. Again, I've been talking about this in my videos for quite a bit, but I've not been keeping this up to mark as I would want on that. So from now on, between breaks, if I don't study, I'd rather look at my notes for a little bit, add a mark when I get a chance to write it down. The next one is getting up, which again, when I'm not working, I generally tend to get up a bit later, whether that be 7 or 8 or 9, or in very, very extreme cases like today when the cat's over, it could be as late as 11 or even half 11. So I'm going to add a bit severely in this, if I'm not being careful, is where I could get a lot of marks. every 10 minutes past 6 that I'm still in bed on a weekend or when I've not got work is an extra 10 points. So if I get out of bed at 7:10 rather than 6, it'd be 7 points. So I'll really have to go to bed early, and if I do go to bed a bit later, I'll be slightly more tired the next day, but nonetheless I think it's more important just to keep that kind of consistent and really drill into my head that I need kind of a system, consistency, and I should really be going to bed earlier. If I go to bed at 12:30 instead of 11 or 11:30 and I'm a bit tired the next day, that's kind of an unfortunate punishment basically. I can knock it off. I'll be fine even if I'm slightly tired. So yeah, those are the 7 things. I might add something else, but I'm satisfied with them for the now. With that being said, despite the fact that I just explained that I don't want to be spending any money or drinking Coke, as I've said in the video, or the title of the video rather, it is not yet the 28th, at least. I believe it's the 27th, either it's going to be the 28th or the 29th. Obviously I can't stop the video and check, but it's not yet tomorrow regardless, so I have got a single can of Coke, kinda just as my last, and I'll be tasting that. I was originally planning on doing it in this video, but I'll just leave it and kind of do it as its own single video because I'm nearly 12 minutes into this and it'll be getting a bit late and will obviously take longer to upload.